You found it, Amanda?
Thank
Okay,
you.
great. Thank you.
Good evening. This is a meeting of the Board of Zoning Adjustments. Tonight we have two items. The order of the items will be as follows. We'll do 624 Maxwell Avenue first, docket number BOZ 2024-00002, followed by 900 Pearl Street, Suite 200, BOZ 2024-00004. I think I got those zeros right. On each item, staff will present first and the applicant second. Next, the public will be invited to comment if there's anybody here, and then the board will discuss. I usually talk about voting rules after we go over the rules of decorum. Amanda, are we doing that still?
Yes, we should still do that, and I'm happy to read those and share my screen.
Thank you.
Oops, lost my mouse. All right, thank you everybody for joining us this afternoon. The city has engaged with community members to co-create a vision for productive, meaningful, and inclusive civic conversations. This vision supports physical and emotional safety for community members, staff and board and commission members, as well as democracy for people of all ages, identities, lived experiences, and political perspectives. For more information about this vision and the community engagement processes, you can visit our website. The following are examples of rules of decorum found in the Boulder Revised Code and other guidelines that support this vision. These will be upheld during this meeting. All remarks and testimony shall be limited to matters related to city business. No participant shall make threats or use other forms of intimidation against any person. Obscenity, racial epithets, and other speech and behavior that disrupts or otherwise impedes the ability to conduct the meeting are prohibited, and participants are required to identify themselves using the name they are commonly known by, and individuals must display their whole name before being allowed to speak online. We are currently virtual, so only audio testimony is permitted online. We're in the Zoom webinar format. So when it is time to participate, if anybody from the public wishes to, you can use the raise hand function, which can be found at the bottom of your screen. I don't think we have anyone on the phone. You can also locate this under the reactions button as well and click on that raise hand feature. And we will see you and we'll call upon everybody in order of their hands raised. And that is it from me. I'll pass it back to you, Jill.
Thank you, Amanda. If the screen share dropped, and we'll continue.
There we go.
Okay, so I usually go over the voting rules, and we typically go over them again before we vote, but an affirmative vote of 3 or more board members shall result in passage of the motion. An applicant cannot be approved with less than 3 affirmative votes. If the first vote taken on a motion to approve or deny an application results in a tie, 2-2, the applicant shall be allowed a rehearing. A tie vote on any subsequent motion to approve or deny shall result in defeat of the motion and denial of the application. A vote of 2-1 or 1-2 on a motion shall in all respects be considered a tie. And I'm going to add that we often take a straw poll before we vote so that applicants have an opportunity to discuss what they want to do. So without further ado, Robbie, I'm going to call upon you for BOZ 2024-00002, 624 Maxwell. Do you have
Actually, we have one item, a swearing in of our new member, I believe.
The A, I missed that. That's right. Thank you. I'm so sorry, Ben.
But all right.
So do we want to do an introduction first, or do you want to swear him in first?
Ben, I can read the oath. I have the oath here to read to Ben, and as way of introduction, I have worked with Ben in his legal capacity as an attorney for the Boulder Housing Authority. So thank you, Ben, for your continued work with the community and the technical review group, and welcome to BOZA. So I'll read you the oath, and please affirm when I'm done, and then maybe you can go ahead and say some words of introduction. Sound okay?
Sounds great.
Okay, so do you, Ben Doyle, solemnly swear or affirm that you will support the Constitution of the United States of America and of the state of Colorado and the charter and ordinances of the city of Boulder, and faithfully perform the duties of the office of a member of the Board of Zoning Adjustment?
I do.
Thank you.
Thank you. Well, Ben, it's nice to meet you. I'm
You
Jill
too.
Lester. Also have a law degree in the background, but I don't practice law. And, you know, I think it's great to have you join us. Thank you. Anybody else want to say anything, or shall we move on? Okay,
Welcome.
thank you, Nikki.
Thanks. Good to be here.
Oh, I'm going to mute myself and hand it over to Robbie.
Okay. Okay, the first item is docket number BOZ 2. Oh, I'm sorry, I'm not sharing. And there we go. Okay, the first item is docket number BOZ 2024-00002. The address is 624 Maxwell Avenue. This is a setback and building separation variance. As part of a proposal for an addition to the back of a non-standard historic home, the applicant is requesting a variance to the side east, rear south, and building separation standards for a principal structure in the RL1 zoning district. The resulting east interior side setback taken from the subject addition will be approximately 2.5 feet, where 5 feet is required and 2 feet exists today. The resulting south rear setback taken from the subject addition will be approximately 16.8 feet, where 25 feet is required and 16.8 feet exists today. The resulting building separation between the subject addition and an existing accessory detached building will be approximately 1.8 feet taken from the roof overhangs and eaves, where 6 feet is required and 1.8 feet exists today. Section of the land use code to be modified, section 971 Boulder Revised Code 1981. And up on the screen, I have a location of this property. To the north is the front yard, and that is along Maxwell Avenue. To the east is an alley, and to the south and west are other properties. It is zoned RL1, and within the packet, you have both one written support, letter of written support, that was from the property to the south, 2444 6th Street. And then also we have a letter of opposition, and that is the property to the east across the alley, and that is at 628 Maxwell Avenue. And those were provided to the board prior to today. So if you have any questions on those, we can go through those, but they should have been provided to everybody for your reading pleasure. So again, it is zoned RL1, and the variance today that the board is considering is both a setback and separation variance. So there's actually 3 separate parts to this, and I'll go into those in a little more detail here in a second. And here we go. So again, we have the aerial view on the left, and then we have the existing site plan. The existing setback along the east side of the house is around 2 feet. So they're wanting to build almost directly above that, but slightly in. And we also have both the street view from Maxwell is the image right here on the right-hand side. And the 2 left images, the upper left image is the rear of the house. That is the subject mudroom with the proposed mudroom addition with the balcony above it. And then you see the subject detached building there on the left, and that is the reason for the building separation variance that the board is considering tonight. And then we also have just an image from the front of the house, the lower left image. So tonight, again, there are 3 parts to the consideration. The first is to the side east, and that is the side setback, and it's for approximately 2.5 feet from the upper story addition or the dormers, where 5 feet is required to meet the minimum setback requirement, and where approximately 2 feet exists today. And that 2 feet again is from the existing lower level of the house along the alley side. And then we also have number 2 is a rear setback and is to the rear south side of the house. And the request is for approximately 16.8 feet from the addition. And that's the addition of both the lower level and the balcony above it, where 25 feet is required to meet the minimum rear yard setback requirements, and where approximately 16.8 feet exists today. So the footprint of the rear mudroom area is to remain the same. And then the third part to the application tonight is for building separation. Building code and also zoning code currently require there to be no less than 6 feet in between any 2 buildings on a single lot. It's on the lot itself, and that includes roof overhangs, eaves, any structural elements. And I kind of call it the yoga ball theory, whereas you need to get a 6-foot yoga ball in between 2 buildings. And that is the reasoning for the request tonight, the building separation request, and it's for approximately 1.8 feet. And that's taken from the roof overhangs of both buildings, the 2 closest points of each building, where 6 feet is required and where approximately 1.8 feet exists today. So the building separation will not be modified, but because there is replacement due to the addition, a variance is required to put something back in place. And there are some closer images or more detailed images within the application. This is just more for visual in case there needs to be a discussion. But the images on the left are the existing and demolition plans. And the images on the right of the screen are the proposed plans. And it's for all 4 sides of the house, including the the subject detached structure for the separation variance. And then again, this is just more for visual. The application, we can zoom in if needed, but this just gives you an idea of both existing and proposed layout of the interior of the building, including on the left, the roof plan for the project. And a little bit in the way of zoning information, the lot is zoned RL1 and the lot size is around 3,426 square feet. That is less than 50% the size of the typical minimum lot size for RL1, which is 7,000 square feet. So it is considered a substandard sized lot. And then the existing and proposed building coverage is to remain the same. There is no expansion out of the building, and it is to remain at around 1,369 square feet, where the maximum for this property would otherwise be 1,405. But again, there's no change to this. There's no outward expansion of the building as it sits today. And then existing and proposed floor area is 1,317. And then with the additions, it's 2,005. The maximum allowance for this property is 2,124 square feet. And then solar access area 1, a solar diagram was provided within the application, and verification was provided that no solar violation would occur due to the location and the design of this work. And of course, we will verify this at time of building permit, which pending tonight's decision, this will ultimately have to go through. And then side yard wall articulation and side yard bulk plane, 2 other zoning standards. They're actually not applicable. The side yard wall articulation is exempt because it is a designated property or it's contributing within a historic district. So under that section of code, it is actually exempt from side yard wall articulation. And then side yard bulk plane, it is exempt because of the lot width. The code under the bulk plane standards does exclude any property with an average lot width of less than 45 feet, which this property has a lot width of about 43.3 feet. So because of that, both side yard wall articulation and side yard bulk plane are exempt. Height existing and proposed is shown at 22.1 feet. There's no physical increase in the height or a lowering of the structural low point that could otherwise increase the height. So there is no change to the determined height of the house. And it is below the substandard lot allowance of 25 feet. So the maximum allowance for a lot this size would otherwise be 25 feet. And they're proposing it at 22.1 feet. And then history, the home was built circa 1909. It is considered contributing to the Mapleton Hill Historic District. And the subject design was approved and received a landmark alteration certificate through HIS 2024-00007. And then also landmark support for the application that you're considering tonight under criterion 4 was provided. And that memorandum was provided within the materials for the board to read. So with that, this one's a little different. The board is typically looking at criterion H1 and 5. Because this is a contributing building and has received support from the landmarks board under criterion 4, the board will be responding to criterion 4 and 5. I have those up on the screen, and we can always come back to this if there's discussion about them. But with criterion 4 and criterion 5, staff, as already stated, is in support of the application as it has been presented. We agree with the landmark board's evaluation and response under criterion 4 in support of the BOZ application. Then also under criterion 5 with the history, the design history that the applicant provided within their materials, and with surrounding neighbor input, even the one to the east, which was in opposition specific to the balcony, and then also the neighbor in support to the south. Staff feels that it still meets all the criterion 4 and 5A through D, and remains in support of the application as it has been presented. And I'm sure the applicant can maybe provide a little more information in terms of the history of the design and going through the landmarks board and the design committee under landmarks. So with that, I will stop talking and hand it back over to you. And if you have any questions, I'd be more than happy to answer them.
Thank you, Robbie. Appreciate that clarity as usual. So is the applicant going to make a presentation? I assume that they're here.
Sorry, I just promoted them. They are here.
Okay, and
Oh,
we-
there.
I apologize about the background.
I was gonna say, yeah, so let me ask anyone who's going to present to please be sure to introduce yourself with your name, state your address. And it's probably helpful for us to know if you're the applicant or a representative of the applicant. And the floor is yours. Oh, yes, Erin. I can't hear you.
I apologize. I may have missed it, but did you want to call for questions for staff first?
So, yes, I guess I read that wrong. So I have a cheat sheet. Evidently, I can't read. One moment, please. But we got everybody ready. So if you'd hold on, applicant and applicant's representative, let me check with the board members. I've been doing this long enough, you'd think I know what their next question is. Does the board have questions of staff? Nikki?
Hey, thank you, Madam Chair. I had two questions, Robbie. If you go back to the picture that you have with blue and green lines.
Yep, let me reshare my screen. This page?
Yes.
Okay.
Can you help me understand on the side east where it exists currently and where it's going? Because 2 feet exists today, but they're asking for 2.5 feet.
Yep. And I'm actually going to go to this image to show you. Can you see my little hand cursor on the screen? It's probably small. The 2 feet is being taken from this wall right here. And the 2.5 is this wall right here. So it's inset about 1/2 foot. So the proposed is actually from the upper story new dormer. And the existing is the 2 feet is from the existing lower level below it. So they're not quite right above each other.
Okay, excellent. Thank you. And I had one other question. On your page where you talk about the building coverage and historical data, yes, this one. I feel like this is a dumb question, but I'm still going to ask it. how can the proposed floor area be increased if the proposed building coverage is not increasing?
So the building coverage is essentially the footprint of the building, and the footprint as it sits today is not being expanded out. So there's no additional building coverage, but floor area, which includes both all levels, including the accessory building. They're actually adding floor area to the upper story with the addition of those 2 bedrooms. So because of that, that's where we get the additional floor area, but not coverage.
Thank you. I didn't have.
And you understand what it means is we're stacking. So, yeah,
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate that.
you're welcome. Anyone else have questions of staff? Okay. Now, I'm going to ask the applicant for their presentation. I appreciate it.
Hi, my name is Ellie Merhan. I am the architect of the project. I think Robbie,
Ellie, sorry, you need to identify your address.
oh, sorry, 2350 Kenwood Drive in Boulder, 80305. Anything else I forgot to say?
You can proceed. Thank you.
Thank you. Yes, so I won't do a presentation because I think Robbie presented everything that needs to be presented, but I do want to mention that the neighbor at 610, so the neighbor to the west, also signed our letter of support. So we have 2 supporting neighbors. And I'm here to answer any questions that you may have.
Thank you. And does your applicant want to say anything, or you're their representative?
I'm their representative, but I'm not sure if they want to speak or not. I can't see them, so.
No,
I only came on because I wasn't sure Ellie was there, but she turned up. So no, I have nothing to say. Thank you.
Thank you, Ivan. Okay, so at this time, we are available for public comment if there's anyone here. Amanda, is there anyone in our audience who would like to comment?
Can I ask a really quick question of the applicant?
So Amanda, can you do
Oh,
whatever needs to happen with them? They need to, I don't know whose voice that is.
Oh, that was, well, Nikki just asked, she wanted to see if she could ask a question of the applicant.
Nikki, you're asking, because I
Yeah.
wasn't looking at your face, so I
Oh.
just heard a voice and I was like, who is that?
Sorry, Jill.
I think, yeah, we can always ask questions if during their time period. Please go ahead.
Okay, I just have a very quick question. I'm looking at the code that we're going to be looking at, and I want to understand the minimum variance that you that could be afforded. So I just want to understand if what you all are proposing is the minimum variance that you could afford to do this project.
From our point of view, we think it is because we're stacking everything above existing square footage. We're not expanding any of the existing encroachments, and with the east and west setbacks, we're actually insetting slightly to avoid having a solar access violation. So from that point of view, we feel like we've tried to maximize the little lot that we have and keep all of the historic fabric. And we could have proposed maybe expanding southward more on the lower level, but then that would have gotten rid of the carriage house, which we did not want to do. And I don't think that the Historic Preservation Board would have approved that either. So.
Thank you, Nikki and Eli. Ellie or Eli?
Ellie.
Yeah. Anyone else have any questions for the applicant? Okay, and then Amanda, no one from the audience wants to
No.
speak?
We actually do have one person with their hand raised.
Very good.
When I unmute, when you're allowed to speak, if you could please give us your full name. Right now it just says Schweiger. I believe it's Catherine Schweiger, but if you could give us your full name, you'll have 3 minutes. Let's see here.
And your address, Catherine.
Thank you. And you should be able to unmute and speak.
And
There
are
you go.
they supposed to be on video, Amanda?
No, they're not on video. It's just the audio.
Thank you.
and Thomas will run the 3-minute timer. Go ahead. I see that you're unmuted, so I think you should be able to speak, but we can't hear you yet.
Catherine, are you hearing us? Sounds like there's a Zoom issue. Was she able to speak when she logged in?
Yeah, we just adjust the settings to allow her to speak, and I see that she's unmuted, but so I'm not sure if it's on her end with the microphone or not.
Do you have a phone number for her?
No, she must be logged in on a device, or I mean on a PC or a on a
Catherine.
actual computer. So
If you can hear us, we'd like to hear what you have to say, but we do not have any audio right now.
if you have questions, you're more than welcome to type them in the Q&A box.
We just run the 3 minutes and see what happens.
I do have her phone number, so I don't know if that is helpful to you all.
I mean, if it was me, I'd want somebody to call me and make sure of what was going on.
Yeah, I'm happy to call her.
It's probably in the packet material as well.
Yeah, it's on the notification letters to the neighbors. I'm trying to copy it and paste it on there.
Well, I would just give it to Catherine, to Amanda. I wouldn't paste it in Q&A. Is that okay? She may not want it publicized. That's the only.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, don't say it.
Catherine, that's not going to work.
Oh boy.
Progress.
Well, that's a progress.
Yeah.
Erin, what is our procedure? Because obviously she's trying to call in. Isn't there a phone number she can call in?
There is the Zoom phone number.
Yeah, there's a Zoom.
So if she can hear this in the meeting invite, it looks like it's 1-719-359-4580. And she should be able to call that and join by phone.
Catherine, your audio is simply not going to work. So your option is to call us in. We can tell you can hear us because we know you're trying. So maybe say that number one more time for her, Erin, but it is in the meeting invite information.
It is 1-719-359-4580. And if we needed to, we could hold this meeting and move on to the second one. I guess, we can give her a couple minutes and see what she can do with joining.
That's exactly what I was thinking, Erin. And so why don't we give her 3 minutes, Amanda? Or Thomas, if you could just set a timer. And we'll give her 3 minutes to call in. Text, do something. And after that, I'm not sure what to do.
And I pasted her phone number directly to Amanda.
Okay.
If she can't get in, we could just hold this one, move on to the second item if we have our applicant for that, and then come back to this item after the second sign agenda.
The only thing I was thinking with that, Erin, is she has to resolve the problem.
Right.
So I think in 3 minutes, she's either able to call in or at least communicate with Amanda. Amanda, do you want to, if you have her number now, can you text her?
Yeah, I will.
And see if you can get an understanding of what we can do, because if she's not able to call in at all, it doesn't make sense to hold, but if she is, then we'll wait. Does that seem fair, Erin?
I think she may need more than 3 minutes. I guess I would not, we know she's tried to appear. I think it's safer to to give
So
her a little, I know sometimes myself with technology can take me quite a bit to get going if things aren't going well.
Okay, so at the end of the 3 minutes, we're gonna move to the next item if we haven't heard anything. And wait to see if she can get it resolved, but at some point she has to communicate in another way.
If she can't get on by the end of the second item, I think then we can talk again and see what our options might be.
So I think she needs the webinar ID as well with that phone number. I tried sharing it, but I'm unable to message her directly.
I see it there. So Amanda, if you're still listening, even though you're off the screen, you might give her the webinar ID. It's amazing how long 1 minute takes.
Yeah, sorry, I was just trying to call her. So Catherine, I'm sorry, I just tried to call you. I think you're signed in on 2 devices, and so maybe that's why the feedback is happening. So if you can just close out of off of the, there you go. Okay. And now try to unmute and speak.
Did that work?
Yes,
Yes.
Good.
and it was done in 3 minutes. I'm impressed.
Thank you. Thank you.
Here we go.
Okay, so it's Catherine Schweiger, 628 Maxwell Avenue here in Boulder, 80304. 628 Maxwell has been my home for over 50 years. I have a clear understanding of the relationship between my home and the household next door. During those 50 years, there have been only 2 couples who resided in the house. After Bob's death, his son Bobby rented to a couple who remained in the house until Bobby's death over 30 years later. I never repaired the picket fence that Peg broke trying to back their golden anniversary large gold-toned Chevrolet out of their garage. There is very little room to maneuver between our houses. Peg grumbled alone that she had no idea how that man was going to manage when she was gone. He managed each evening when I could hear him saying goodnight to the world while pouring himself a stiff drink. When I noticed no activity in the house, I would do a safety check. If Bob was on the bathroom floor, unable to get up, I would call 911. For most of the 30-year tenancy of the next couple, we had a good neighbor relationship, but I was well aware when their marriage was not working well. It has been rather unsettling to not have any occupants in the home since last fall. This is my closest neighbor. I am not looking forward to the disruption that the proposed pop-up will cause to the neighborhood, where we have limited street parking and where the lot of 624 Maxwell is so small that staging materials will likely be difficult. Although I would prefer only 1 bedroom, 1 bath in the new upstairs pop-up, I understand what Mr. Barkhorn is proposing only asks for a minor exception for the side yard setbacks and otherwise is allowed within current regulation. In conversation with Mr. Barkhorn, he was very interested in the view, and I once suggested that the next time he got up on the roof, he come get me to steady his ladder. Our view is nothing that you would put on a picture postcard. I cannot support the exception for the rear yard setback that includes the balcony over the existing back porch. Having landmarks issue a certificate with the balcony as the only option for egress is a usurpation of the purview of the Board of Zoning Adjustment. There are other solutions for egress. The balcony is a substantial encroachment and if built, will impair the reasonable use and enjoyment of my property, as I have detailed in my documentation included in your packet. I cannot screen this encroachment because of the public alley and our very narrow side yards. Attempting to mute conversation on this outside balcony is impossible, and I will hear every word that is spoken. Again, this is a substantial encroachment that will impair my reasonable use and enjoyment of my property. Please deny the encroachment.
That's our 3 minutes. Thank you, Catherine.
Yes.
Thank you for your comments. We appreciate it. Is there anyone else from the public that's here?
No, I don't see anybody else.
Okay, thank you. At this
Mhm.
time, we'll close the public hearing. It is now open to the board for discussion. So usually, Tom, this is your first time here with us, but the chairperson usually asks the board members to speak first, and then I'll speak last. So does anybody want to volunteer to speak first? I'm sure, Nikki, you can say something. Is there any comment? Maybe there isn't any comment.
Go ahead, Drew.
Well, I guess, yeah, going through the criteria, you know, obviously it meets the criteria number, the criteria 4, being a historic home, and it would not alter the character of the neighborhood. And I do think it is the minimum variance needed, given that they've used the existing setbacks and actually added a little bit on the upper story. And I'm assuming the solar analysis is correct. So then it comes down to the question of the reasonable use and enjoyment. And I guess my question is for Aaron, if there are some examples of what might constitute change in or impairment of reasonable use and enjoyment.
There are not. Typically, some of these things, you know, it tends to morph a long time. So it's really up to the lived-in professional experiences of the BOZA members to determine, you know, what is substantial impairment, what is reasonable use. And over time, things change. I think the most common example that has come up are garages. Like at one time, a one-car garage was you know, sufficient, but over time, as we get more bicycles and, you know, 2 people in a household working, a 2-car garage was considered pretty minimally reasonable by the board. So yeah, no specific examples that I can think of, but it really comes down to what each of you defines those terms given the application materials. And it is something you could ask the applicant more about if you desire as well.
No. Well, I guess, you know, I really appreciate Catherine's comments and her perspective. I guess my first inclination on the reasonable use, saying that the balcony, I think, is about 30 feet from her bedroom window. You know, that's actually a further distance than many people have in Boulder between homes, and so I would say that this new addition is not impairing the reasonable use and enjoyment of an adjacent property. So I would be in favor of this variance.
Thank you, Drew. Anyone else? Nikki, you ready?
Yeah, thank you, Drew. I would agree with what Drew is saying. I was looking at 5C, the minimum variance, and the applicant answered that question for me in terms of how much more room we're taking up. All of the proposed setbacks are within the current setbacks. So for that reason, I would also be in favor of granting this variance.
And Ben, it's up to you. Sometimes people, when it's their first session, don't talk, but it's your call. What would you like to do?
No, I'd be happy to chime in. I concur with what Drew and Nikki just mentioned. I think the staff analysis was sensible here. You know, in terms of this application meeting the criteria. I appreciate the applicant's approach to the project. You know, not trying to go beyond what the code would accommodate here if the variances are approved as proposed. So yeah, I would be in support.
Thank you, Ben. And I'm going to concur. I think you said it well, Drew. I also looked at the size of the balcony, which I believe is 85 square feet, which is not particularly large. And that the fact that it's actually accessed by bedrooms, and having been a builder for many years and lived in homes, I know that balconies off bedrooms are rarely used. Now, perhaps this family is going to be an exception to that, but it's not a main party balcony. So, and it's quite small. So I think it, you know, in my eyes, it's my estimation. So I think even though I do appreciate what Catherine's saying, change is hard and these lots are tight. Well, we have to acknowledge that. And so I hope that they can figure out a way to be neighborly about it. And I'm going to agree. So at this point, I would like to entertain a motion. Who would like to present that motion? I generally don't present them, so somebody does need to volunteer, Drew or Nikki or Ben. So
I move to approve BOZA docket number BOZ 2024-00002 as presented.
I'll second. Okay, that's great. Thank you. Drew can second. All right. All those in favor, and Ben, we do this individually because we're being recorded. So I usually call their name or they know to chime in. So Drew,
Aye.
Nikki,
Aye.
Ben,
Aye.
aye. So this docket matter is approved. And thank you for your presentation, Ellie, and the applicant. I wish you the best. We'll now move on to the second item on our agenda, which was 0004, BOZ 2024. In this item is a sign matter. So Robbie, it's your baby.
All right, I'm ready. Okay, again, this is docket number BOZ 2024-00004. The address is 900 Pearl Street, Suite 200. And this is a sign spacing variance as part of a proposal to install a new projecting tenant sign at 900 Pearl Street. The applicant is requesting a variance to the minimum sign spacing standards pursuant to Boulder Revised Code, Section 9921. The resulting distance between the subject proposed sign and the nearest existing sign will be approximately 20 feet 8 inches, where 25 feet is required, and no sign for this tenant exists today. Section of the Land Use Code to be modified, Section 9921, Boulder Revised Code 1981. And this is a new one for the board. I think it's been quite a few years since we had a sign variance, let alone a sign spacing variance. I'll present this a little differently, but shouldn't be too bad. Again, this is at 900 Pearl Street, which is a mixed-use building of both commercial and residential. Up there on the screen, you can see the white circle. That's kind of the location along Pearl Street. I have a better aerial here in the next slide, but this just gives you an idea of its location and proximity to the surrounding businesses and zoning districts. And here on the screen, you see the red circle again on the left image. That is the location along Pearl Street. And the image on the right is the footprint of the subject mixed use building. And this is the street view from Pearl Street. And the location of the tenant is actually up here on the second floor. We have a better visual here in the next slide. And the subject location of the proposed sign is going to be on the ground floor. And this is a better diagram. You can see there kind of outlined in the red shading. That is the location of the tenant. And the blue circle is the location of the projecting sign that the board is considering tonight when it comes to sign spacing. So again, this is a sign spacing variance for the new projecting sign, and it's for approximately 20 feet 8 inches, where 25 feet is required, and no projecting signage for the business exists today. And Section 9921, our sign code, pretty much just says there shall be no less than 25 feet in between any two projecting signs, and anything less than that would require a variance, and they do provide a path forward. So that is why this application is in front of the board this evening, is they are proposing 20 feet 8 inches between the proposed sign and the nearest existing sign, and 25 feet would otherwise be required. And then this is a better view of the existing signs along this stretch of Pearl Street. Again, my red circle shows you where the subject sign is to be located behind the tree is with the arrow, you see the Yellow Deli sign A1. That is where the 20 feet 8 inches is being taken from. And then we have two other signs, Jack's and West End, two other existing projecting signs headed to the east. But the two signs that are kind of the more important, the focus of this application are the proposed sign and the sign that is 20 feet 8 inches away from it, which would be the Yellow Deli sign. And this just shows you kind of the size and the dimensions and as well as the look of the proposed sign. And you can see there circled is that would be the location of the sign. And just beyond that, you can actually see the Yellow Deli sign, which again is the 20 feet 8 inches away from it. And sign spacing variances have their own unique criteria. It is 9921S. It's buried way deep into the sign code, but within that, we have the ability for BOZA to grant variances specific to certain sign things. It's not all sign variances, but one of those things that the board can consider are sign spacing variances for projecting signs. And there are 4 criteria, and the applicant did go through each of those criteria in detail in their response. And it's worth noting that criterion 4B is specific to noise variances, which this is not a part of. So the board actually tonight will be considering criterion A, C, and D, and that is what the applicant responded to. And with that, and with the information provided within the application, staff is in support of this application. In short, meeting the 25 feet would otherwise put the subject sign on the other side of the building entrance and below a portion of the building that is not where this tenant resides. So having a business sign directly below a business itself seems appropriate and is understandable. And in order to do that, they would have to seek a variance for the 20 feet 8 inches. So with that, staff does feel that it meets all of the criterion under 9921S4 and is recommending support as it has been presented. So with that, I can answer any questions you may have. And I do also know that we have the applicant here with us as well. So I'll leave it at that.
Thank you, Robbie. Do members of the board have questions for staff? I'm getting shaking heads. I agree. At this time, would the applicant like to speak?
I just promoted Dale. Here he comes.
Hi, everybody. I just rejoined as a panelist. So I cut out for a bit. Is it my turn now? Is that correct?
It is, Dale, and please introduce yourself, name and address, and then take it from there.
Okay, Dale Hubbard, address is 833 Kalmia Avenue in Boulder, 80304. I'm the applicant on this. Thanks for your time in considering this. We're super excited to have our office here on West Pearl, just trying to get a blade sign done. And I guess I am the, victim of being an architect and wanting to just place this sign in what seems to be the logical location on the building. It is, basically the location that we're showing is on the pilaster, similar to where the Yellow Deli's is. And then as the building progresses to the west, there's a vertical circulation break, and then it becomes residential from that point forward. So Robbie's done a great job introducing this to you, so I won't go on too long. We have our approval from the HOA board at 900 Pearl. We have our revocable in place and the insurance, and this is the kind of final hurdle for permit comments. So I guess we're ready to go. And happy to answer any questions you might have regarding the proposal.
Thank you, Dale. Appreciate it. Does anyone have a question for the applicant? Okay. Yeah, my sense is, for myself, this is not a controversial issue. Does anyone else disagree? All right, meaning, let's say the positive. Is there anyone opposed to this? Yeah. So let's have a motion to approve as submitted, please.
I move we approve docket number BOZ 2024-00004 as proposed.
Thank you. I will second that motion. All those in favor, let's start with Ben.
Aye.
Drew,
Aye.
Nikki,
Aye.
and I. So thank you so much. Your submittal has been approved and you may proceed with your sign. I'll look forward to seeing it.
Okay, thanks, everybody. Have
Appreciate your
a
time.
great night.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye. I think we have minutes to approve and then matters from the board. I have reviewed the minutes as everyone else who was here, because Ben, you weren't here, so.
I wasn't here either.
Yeah, so what do we do in that case, Erin? Because we don't have a quorum to approve those minutes. Do you want to table it till next meeting, or can we just?
You can vote on minutes even if you weren't
Oh,
present.
forget that. I think you might have said that before. Okay, well, I can tell you the minutes are good.
They're very short. They're accurate.
Yeah. Very short. So can we have a motion to approve the minutes, please?
I make a motion to approve the minutes.
Second. Okay, here we go again. Ben,
Aye.
Drew.
Aye.
Nikki,
Aye.
and myself, aye. Okay, we have minutes approved. Do we have matters from staff?
Yes, and just a few quick things. Application deadline for the May meeting was yesterday. I've yet to be able to go through and figure out what, if any, are moving forward to May. So like always, stay tuned on an email coming from me about the May 14th. I forget the date, but I will email you probably by the end of this week with the status on that. And there is also, for our now departed member, we have a little quick coffee thing on Thursday during lunchtime. So if any of you can make it, great. We'd love to see you. It'll just be super quick and easy. Even you, Ben, can kind of see, who your predecessor was. So if you want, but if not, no worries. It'll just be quick and easy. But we wanted to say thank you and farewell to our former member. So, and then one last thing is, I believe we will be, or will need to vote for a new chair and vice chair at the next scheduled meeting. So have recommendations in mind. And I would say just come prepared at the next meeting with who you would like to see as chair and vice chair, even if it's a repeat of who we have now. So that's it from me.
Thank you, Ravi. And I'm going to respond to that. I'm not able to see Maureen on Thursday because I have another meeting. But please share with her my appreciation for her time on the board. Tell her I said hi and I'll see her around town. May 14th, currently I'm scheduled to be in Germany. So I just want to put that out there. Usually it's a rough time for me to make that meeting because it's the middle of the night. So hopefully enough people will come if you need to have that meeting.
Thank you.
Yes.
Can someone share the cheat sheet with me? Because if you're not going to be here in May, that'll be my first meeting.
The cheat sheet that I told you that I would share with you.
Yes.
Yes, I'm willing to share it with you. It needs an edit. There's some typos in there. It says appliance instead of applicant. So I'm just hand corrected. And I always said, every time I look at it, I'm like, don't say appliance. Yeah, I'll get that too. Amanda, you probably have them, right? I mean, I got them from you guys.
Yes, I think we have something, and maybe I'll look through and update it as necessary.
I might have put it up on Google Docs.
Yeah.
So I'll look and see, and I'll share it with you. And if you want, you can share it with everybody. And, really, once you've been to enough meetings now to know that it is pretty clockwork unless you mess up like I did, which happens now and then. So, do we have any matters from anyone else on the board? Anything you want to bring up?
I guess any comment on the letter that we sent to the city council?
I didn't see the letter.
Oh, it never got shared? It got sent to,
Did it go out,
Um,
Amanda, and I just missed
I'm sorry that it didn't go back to the board. You're right. Apologies for that. I'm happy to send it to the board. It did make its way to city council, yes. And I have not heard. Aaron, do you know anything about their reviewing? They had their retreat last week. So I'm not sure if they discussed letters from boards and commissions during their retreat or not.
I don't believe they did, though I had to leave early one day, so they may have addressed it Thursday, but I have a feeling that most of that was devoted to setting the priorities. So it may just have come up in conversation if it touched on a priority. I don't recall any specific discussion of board letters in general.
We don't.
So I'm sure they all read it, read it individually, and that informed how they chose their priorities.
Thank you, Erin. Are there any matters from you?
Yes, actually, I'd like to introduce Deshauna Zezueta, who's on as a panelist and just turned on her camera. Deshauna is one of our prosecutors and so has worked on code issues from an enforcement perspective. And I am going to have to cover some other night meetings. And so Deshauna has kindly offered to help out with BOZA. So you will probably see her at a couple more meetings. And thank you, Deshauna. If you'd like to say anything by way of introduction.
Sure. My name is Deshauna. It's very nice to meet everyone virtually. Hopefully in person is coming down the pike. I'm excited to join BOZA and learn a different aspect of the law. I don't not know any of you guys personally, but I have worked with Robbie before, and I know he's stellar, and I'm happy to see him on this meeting. So yes, just excited to be here, and I guess hopefully we'll be in person here soon.
Well, I really appreciate the explanation of who you were because your name was up there. And I was like, who is that? So nice to meet you. We'll see you, I guess, at our next regularly held meeting.
Yes.
Well, thank you. Anyone else? Anything else? Or may I close the meeting?
I guess I'll be at the Thursday lunch. My desk literally faces Amonte, so it's very easy.
Nice. I'm glad someone will be there. That's good. Thank you, Drew. Represent us, okay? Well, thank you so much. I think at this point, then we can adjourn the meeting. Thank you, everybody. We'll see you soon.
Thank you.
Thank you. Good night.